Someone has claimed that pornography is the root cause of sexual problems in our societies, negatively impacting younger generations. I am curious about the reasons and facts behind this assertion. To find answers, I searched for reported sexual crime rates in different societies. It's important to note that these rates only reflect reported cases. An intriguing observation caught my attention. Oman, a Muslim country, and Denmark, a Christian but secular nation, have similar population sizes and reported sexual crime rates. In 2016, Oman's population was 4.425 million, with a reported rape rate of 6.6 per 100,000. Denmark, with a slightly larger population of 5.731 million, had a lower rape rate at 6.4, despite its larger population. This raises the question: why is Denmark's reported rape rate lower than Oman's? How can sexual crime rates differ among populations? This issue likely involves governance systems or traditional customs and educational influences within societies, rather than simply population size. Could the variance in reported rape rates between countries be influenced by religious rights or secular freedoms? Let's explore these connections. Every society operates under different ideologies, each with its own perspective on governance and lifestyle. Traditional governance often aligns with religious principles, which historically employ a carrot and stick approach, reward and punishment, to enforce societal norms, such as strict penalties for social crimes. However, such harsh punishments have proven ineffective in controlling social crimes today. This leads me to consider contemporary causes for these issues. Since pornography did not exist when religious doctrines were established, there's no direct evidence linking pornography to sexual crimes, which have existed throughout history. The advent of films is a relatively recent development. If someone claims that pornographic films cause social problems like rape, I would request evidence. The existence of sexual crimes predates pornography, so it's difficult to prove that they didn't occur before its invention. The real question is whether sexual crime rates have increased or decreased, and why. As civilized beings, we must understand the underlying reasons for all behaviors. Denmark, with its open secular education system, has fewer sexual restrictions compared to Oman, a strict Muslim country where access to pornography is likely restricted. Why then does Oman have a higher reported sexual crime rate than Denmark, which allows sexual freedom? Consider the scandals involving Roman Catholic priests, celebrities, and politicians. Why do they risk so much? Understanding the root causes of these issues is crucial. While celibacy rules may contribute, there's a deeper problem that predates pornography. Personally, I believe that attempts to control sexual behavior often backfire, potentially increasing the incidence of sex crimes. Education is key. Denmark's secular education system may offer a more effective approach to reducing social crimes compared to Oman's punitive measures. Sexual issues are akin to smoking and drinking, acceptable in private, but harmful when imposed on others. Society rightly regulates behaviors that endanger others, such as drunk driving or public smoking. Similarly, while private consumption of pornography and masturbation may be personal choices, actions that harm others, like rape, are unacceptable. I condemn sexual crimes, but I advocate identifying their true causes. While certain behaviors may correlate with social problems, any solution offered is subjective and evolving. In a diverse world, clashes of opinion are inevitable. Our evolving understanding should focus on current facts and solutions, rather than clinging to outdated beliefs. Looking to past rules for present solutions is misguided. We lack clear answers for modern cybercrimes. Relying on ancient religious texts for guidance on contemporary issues like internet crime is impractical. Similarly, attributing today's sexual crimes solely to pornography ignores historical context and societal evolution. Modern societies have changed significantly, driven by population growth, technological advancements, and a shift towards individual freedoms and equal rights. Everything is different now. Rather than glorifying the past, we should seek modern solutions for modern problems. To achieve peace within ourselves and society, we must understand and accept our dual nature, animal and spiritual. Attempts to suppress our animal side throughout history have failed. Instead, we should acknowledge and manage this inherent aspect of humanity to foster inner and outer peace. As individuals, we possess conflicting impulses. Understanding and resolving these conflicts is crucial to achieving personal and societal balance. Education is vital in this process. By educating individuals about the consequences of their actions, we empower them to self-regulate and make informed choices. First and foremost, the reason for our conflicts is that we don't want our ancestors to be proven wrong. We egotistically defend and even go to war with each other to prove who is right. Yet, you can pick any group of people and delve into their past. You will find problematic behaviors, not because of their fault, but due to their level of evolution. So, don't blame each other's ancestors and cross the line by giving them a break. They did their best according to their level of evolution. If an adult sexually abuses a child, that child learns from an action-based education that it's okay to abuse children when they become adults. This type of action-based education has nothing to do with porn movies but everything to do with the education taught by people who have been abused in the past. I wish I could claim it's a modern-day phenomenon, but it's not. Most people repeat behaviors that they have learned. For example, a young person raised by alcoholic parents will often marry someone like their alcoholic parents. If society wants to fix the problems of rape, then banning porn movies is like barking up the wrong tree. Blame and punish the right source. Don't use band-aid solutions to fix age-old problems by blaming them on new situations. Sexual abuse has been around for thousands, if not millions, of years, and pornography has just been invented. If you go after the known causes of the problems, you may find some solutions. Education, education, and more education. Harsh punishments have not done it, are not doing it, and I don't believe they will do it. Self-regulation is the key, and that is done only by the individual with education. Beautiful and spiritual, yet still a beast. Priests, mullahs, politicians, and celebrities are willing to risk everything just because they have given in to their powerful animal side. They are not aware of the powerful monster living within themselves. Since we have been cleverly taught to blame God or the devil for our actions, we cleverly blame the entities who don't talk back to us. Sexual abuse is a bigger sin spiritually than masturbation, so we should put things in perspective. Religion or not, it is a personal problem, so individuals have to be educated about the long-term consequences of their actions. You can blame your passionate nature, or you can believe the devil made you do it. Either way, you don't or are unable to respect the one who resides within you to create balance in how you become good or bad as an individual. If I were God, I would know which one is a bigger sin or actually a spiritual crime. If mullahs or priests would not allow themselves to watch porn, masturbate, and not sexually abuse children, then the world would be a much better place. Abusing children is a greater evil than watching porn or masturbating. The problem is that one chooses their inner demons. Sexual abuse is not known to be related to porn. Otherwise, sexual crime rates would be higher in Denmark than in Oman. Don't blame porn. Find the proven causes of the problems. A larger or more powerful animal side would be mainly responsible for most of our social problems. For instance, if you are raised or are used to getting things the easy way, you are not going to find a job to get things. From stealing to robbing to prostitution to corruption, they can be connected to the voice coming from within you. If you have a human side that is stronger than reasons and is compassionate towards others, you will not take the easy way out. So ask yourself about your animal size to create peace with education. When you start to dig into yourself individually, you will find conflicting powers at work within you. But if you don't even try to look for the solutions, you are trying to mask or trying to sweep everything under the rug. An unhealthy but religious way to look at social problems. If you don't educate your people with the right knowledge and force them to comply with the rules, sooner or later you will find them breaking the rules. But if you educate them, the numbers of crime rates would drop. Human societies can't be controlled by having a police officer for each individual. It is just not practical. So the best way to deal with our social problems is to educate and encourage the individual to self-regulate. I would say deep inside, most of us as individuals have some kind of personal conflicts. They can and should be resolved by the individual by understanding what it means to be a human being. For instance, animal side versus human side, or sense of belonging versus sense of freedom. It can only be resolved by understanding what kind of entity we are. We are not only the body, nor are we only the brain. We are an entity that lives in a living body with the brain. We are the one entity who can create balance and act accordingly. In order to do so, first of all, we have to recognize that we are separate from our body and brain. Say I ask you to move your finger, you would have no problem doing that because the brain and body are functioning. But if you ask a stroke patient, they would have a big problem because their connection between muscles and brain has been disrupted. If you are deaf, you would not hear me, so that would be another kind of problem, but a physical one. Now, if everything is perfectly in order but you are dead, you are not going to be able to perform what I have asked you. That is an even bigger problem. Now, if you are alive and everything is working, you will be able to move your finger without any problem, but you have to understand the process you have gone through. See, our body is like a computer. We have all the abilities and data in it, but someone has to use it, and that user is you who lives in your body. And yes, it's not your brain because the brain depends on data to be provided by you. If you want to understand it, it can be understandable. Otherwise, you can be stuck in either living as an animal or as a spiritual entity. You are a human being who is a combination of both sides. An example I can give is angels. We are taught that being angels is a good thing, so we should want and act like angels. Remember, according to our religions, angels have no free will to make choices, so they will only do good but without choice. Human beings do good by choice, so that is what makes human beings supersede angels. Choosing to be good for strangers or even enemies is a characteristic of human beings. Not common, but still found in some human beings. It has been preached by our religions, but our politics corrupts our way of believing in God, so we choose to follow our animal side. Even if it is working against your animal side or desires, still it's an ability possessed by human beings. Back to our spiritual and physical sides. A human body simply can't live without the animal side or a functioning body and brain. Neither can an animal side live without the spirit living within. They are inseparable, so we have to live as a combination of both. This is the problem which we have been trying to fix for millions of years. We have gone through a whole lot of civilization with a whole lot of religious beliefs, isms, and even different types of democracies. Most of our religious beliefs, laws of our lands, and civilization in general preach and promote extreme measures to kill our animal side because we don't want to be counted as other creatures. We have been taught that we are superior to all other creatures. This sense of superiority seeps into our being, and an individual becomes susceptible to prejudice and discrimination. Personally, I believe that is the foundational education which is mainly responsible for our prejudice and discrimination against each other among human beings. We are taught that if our behavior is similar to other animals, we are bad and inferior. With all the civilization and evolution, our understanding should have changed by now, but we are still stuck in the old political systems with prejudice and discrimination in the foundation. Our best bet is to understand ourselves by educating and accepting our animal side, its legitimacy and authenticity to achieve personal and inner peace from within. Becoming the chief executive officer of our life can help individuals to create inner balance. Otherwise, an imbalanced individual can end up making extreme choices like being a slave of the animal side without any restrictions or inhibitions to be a human being, or go to the other extreme by removing self-importance altogether and live or spend all their mortal life without any kind of enjoyment. How can an individual stand against the status quo if the politics of a powerful sense of belonging is overwhelming while personal sense of freedom is non-existing? As a CEO, we can achieve all that by putting everything, including other people, religious affiliations, sexual identities, racial differences, and nationalism, as departments of our life. Instead of making them the ultimate powers and reducing the individual to a mere speck in the sand. Understanding free will can teach self-importance as an individual and all about the spiritual jewelry they wear. When you wear your spiritual jewelry, you can become aware of self-respect, which can teach us all to evolve to the point that we can live as a mortal being who has the responsibility to enjoy a mortal journey as a human animal simultaneously, but has the ability to counter our animal-driven desires so one can live and let live in peace. We all should proudly wear what I call jewels of humanity, like being compassionate, forgiving, sacrificing, and loving. Since mass murder or extermination of our own kind has been part of our history, so regardless of our spiritual jewelry, we are capable of horrific spiritual crimes. Remember, we have dropped atomic bombs, we have used other weapons of mass destruction, and even nowadays, we are constantly at war with each other. We even put the other creatures to shame with our out-of-control animal side.